Hello, my name is McKenna Murtaugh. I'm serving as parliamentarian for the Riviera Student Government Association. In this video, we will be discussing parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rules of Order. Now, in front of you, you'll have a sample agenda. This agenda will cover the basic flow of a meeting. However, more items can be added at a later time. For our purposes, we'll keep it simple. Our meetings will cover call to order, roll call, approval of last week's minutes. Then we will cover unfinished business, new business, followed by Senator and Executive Board reports. After this, we will cover recognition, announcements, and then the meeting will be adjourned. This is the typical order of agenda. However, from time to time, there will be changes, such as for committee meetings or action team reports. Now, let's take a closer look at each of these orders of business. We start each meeting with a call to order, if quorum is present. Quorum is half the number of members plus one. For our exec board, quorum would look like this. There are 6 members in executive board. Half of that would be 3 members. Plus 1 is 4. So, in order for executive board to have quorum for a meeting, they must have 4 members in attendance. In Senate, quorum is half plus 1 senators. We have 14 senators, so quorum would be what? That's right, 8 senators. Once quorum is met, the chair of the meeting will say, "I call this meeting to order at," whatever time the order is called. This is then followed by roll call. During this time, the secretary will make a note of who is in attendance in the minutes. Next, we have approval of the minutes and the agenda. It is very important to read the minutes from last week carefully. Once they are approved, they will be sent to the archives for future reference. Now, let's take a look at what we've covered so far.
Now that we have quorum, I call this meeting to order at 5:45. The secretary has recorded attendance. The first order of business is the approval of the agenda. Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda? All right. The agenda is approved. The next order of business is the approval of the minutes. Please take a moment to review the minutes. Does anyone have any changes, additions, or deletions to the minutes?
If there's a change needed to the minutes, members can raise their hands and, when called upon, state the section where the problem occurs and the change that is needed. The secretary will make the necessary changes.
All right. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. Last week we discussed the call boxes and determined that the treasurer would get prices for new call boxes. Do you have anything for us?
Yep, I've actually prepared a report I will now distribute. And as you can see, each call box will cost about $675 and then will require the phone wiring and necessary hardware to secure them to the building. And the total cost of the product and installation would be about $975 per call box. The total cost of the product and installation will be about $975. And if we wanted to install 3 more on campus, then the total price would be about $2,925.
All right. The floor is open to discussion.
In most formal meetings, a motion would be made in order to discuss this. At RIV SGA, we like to have open discussion before we consider an amendment. This helps to limit confusion, avoid multiple amendments, and allow for a more free-flow discussion by our members.
Yeah.
I think safety is definitely paramount, and we should definitely pay for these boxes.
Right. Lindsay?
I agree that safety is paramount, but I think that we should invest in more of the blue light boxes that are in the parking lots, not the ones that are on the building.
Okay. Megan?
Those boxes and wirings cost thousands of dollars per box, up to $3,000 for one versus $3,000 for all 3 of these standard call boxes.
Excellent point. Ryan?
I think we should bring this up to Senate for further discussion before making decisions.
All right. So if there are no objections, we will bring this idea to Senate. All right. So Ryan, if you would please add this to the Senate agenda under new business. So next item on the agenda for our new business, the first topic will be that the Counseling and Wellness Center has asked SGA to fund a yoga class. So here's the paperwork for that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
As you can see, the request is for 6 weeks of yoga at $100 per session with a certified instructor. This goes for a total of $600. So do I have a motion to accept this? Or...
I move to accept the request for $600 to sponsor yoga.
Josh?
I second the motion.
Okay. So is there any discussion on that? Megan?
Will it be noted that SGA is the sponsor and would we have any obligations to publicize?
Yes, it will be noted. And while the Counseling and Wellness Center will advertise, it can't hurt for us to advertise it on our own as well. Lindsay?
Is there a more appropriate sponsor for this than SGA? Like the dance team or maybe nursing or public health?
Those are special interest clubs, and they're more focused on activities that advance the mission of their club versus the overall student body. Perhaps SPB, since they focus on the whole of campus, would be a good co-sponsor.
I think that would be a better route to take, since SGA is really more about governance and not programming.
Ditto to Lindsay. I definitely think that's a good point.
Alright, so I would like to get a sense of body on this issue.
A sense of the body allows everyone to vote, even appointed members and guests. It's taking a quick pulse of the group. If most of the members are in agreement, then the chair has a better idea of how to proceed.
Please raise your hand if you think this request should be submitted to SPB instead of SGA. Alright, so it looks like we want to send this to SPB, however, we do have a motion on the table and it has been seconded, so we have to vote. All those in favor of sponsoring yoga for 6 weeks, please raise your hands.
You may notice that Ryan raised his hand, even though, in the sense of the body, he wanted to send this to SPB. This is part of parliamentary procedure. If you make a motion, you cannot vote against it.
All those opposed? And all those who abstain? There's no one. So the motion fails, 1-3-0.
Remember, you are voting for your position, not your opinion. If you're a sophomore rep, you vote on behalf of the sophomores. This applies for every representative in SGA. Make your vote count for your peeps.
Okay, so would you bring this request to SPB?
Yep, I can definitely get to them next week when they have their meeting.
The next order of business is reports. Does anyone have a report? Josh?
So this week I have received minutes from 6 clubs, and it seems that they are meeting, are active and engaged. The Site Club is holding a toiletries drive. The SNA is handing out pins for women's heart health. And the theater company is making great progress on the play. Tomorrow I will be attending the Model UN meeting to check in with them as well.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions for Josh? No? Alright, any other reports? Megan?
I got a report from the business office about some club receipts, and I've contacted them individually to reconcile their accounts. I made purchases on the binders and folders for the officers and members, and I submitted the petty cash receipts from the last SGA meeting.
Excellent, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Megan? No? Alright. So I'll report on my presidential duties this week. I attended a meeting with faculty and staff on the university's retention efforts. I worked with Ryan to prepare an agenda for the retreat. I assisted Professor Bagley with questions she had on SGA procedures. And next week I will attend the Trustee Student Affairs Committee. So are there any questions for me? Okay, now on to recognitions. Ryan?
I recognize Lindsay for great newsletter that she produced.
Thank you, Lindsay. Are there any others? No? Okay, so now on to announcements. Megan?
The Gaming League is meeting Friday at 6 p.m. in the Upper Dial Lounge.
All right, any other announcements? So this meeting is adjourned at 7:30.
In this video, we have covered a standard meeting agenda. We got to see what well-organized discussion looks like and how to properly call for a vote. It's important to keep in mind that we have only begun to scratch the surface of all the complexities that can happen in a meeting. Hopefully, this video helped you to feel a little more comfortable with the process of parliamentary procedure. Good luck, And remember to get the most out of your meetings in SGA. Never forget the students that you represent. And most importantly, be courteous. That's always in order.